All right, guys, another demo day in the books. Today we are out here at the Phoenix Raceway, unfortunately not on the track. But today we are on the KTM 890 Adventure R, I believe. So stick around, enjoy the video. I'm excited to ride some KTMs. Hopefully when we get back I'll be able to sign up for another one. This guy's got the 1290 Duke, but that one was booked out for the day already. So as you can expect, and we are off. So I chose the adventure style bike because it's something I've never ridden before. And one day I would like to have an adventure bike for some crazy, like, longer trips. So we'll see what it's all about. So right off the bat, the power delivery is definitely so different than a sports bike, which makes sense because in a bike like this you're going to be taking it long distances, so you don't really need that much power. But it's got a little bit, just a little bit. And this is definitely by far the most comfortable motorcycle I have ever ridden, without a doubt. I always love just to feel the differences. There's so many motorcycles these days, and I've never really gotten to ride that many bikes, so it's super cool that they have these demo days. I need to find more, but never ridden a KTM, so this is the first time. And I gotta say, this bike is very smooth. I'm enjoying it, even though we're, you know, going dead straight. But at least I'm not riding the 1290 Super Duke like the guy in front of me. That would be, obviously that would be fun, but in a ride like this, I guess we'll see if we get into some fun stuff here, which maybe. Definitely nothing like the Z900, that's for sure. Hopefully when we get back I'll sign up for another ride, and they'll let me do the, hopefully they'll have one that's open for the 890 Super Duke, or the 890 Duke R, which is almost the exact same as the Z900, so that'll be a good comparison video. Here we go, a little lean on the knobbies. That's not too bad. Never ridden on the street with knobby tires before, so that's interesting. Man, the wind protection that you have on this bike too. I have never had a bike with wind protection like this, and I could easily take this bike on a 500-mile day, no issues. So one of these days, I'm telling you guys, when I have multiple bikes, I will definitely have something like this that can take on longer trips. Maybe I could take on a trail, which the difference between this 890 and maybe say like the 1290 would be that 1290 weighs so much that I would find that very hard to take on a trail. And I gotta say, this shifter is in a very weird position. I've never had to like tiptoe a bike either. I can't even hardly get my feet on the ground. But it feels good being up in that really high position, and the tank is super low, so there's like really there's nothing in the way, so it really feels clean. You're up high, good field of vision. No complaints so far. KTM makes some cool bikes for sure. And we're off. There's always such a weird period when you ride a new bike for the first time, like getting used to the ergonomics and just the feelings of everything. You don't want to like mess something up or do something stupid, but it feels pretty good. Other than the shift knob down here, everything feels really good. It's just like out of place for some reason, and I'm sure you kind of get used to it. Or maybe it's just the fact that I've rode sport bikes, so the feeding position's a little different. It's crazy the top heaviness that this bike has. It sits up so high. Get her over on the side a little bit. Well, I haven't really got to open her up all the way yet, but she's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. For, I don't know what the weight of this bike is, but not terrible. That's all I gotta say. Not terrible. So I certainly don't think I could ever have only a bike like this. Maybe when I'm older for sure, but you know, I've seen some 70-year-old, 60-year-old guys riding S1000 RR, so if they can do it, I can do it. But as only having one bike, I don't think I could do it with this one, that's for sure. She's gonna hold her hand out for everybody. Biker fam, bro, biker fam. We all out here, 2 wheels up. That's the goal of our family. I keep missing the shift knob. Like, it's way too far inwards for where I'm used to. It's green. It's always interesting riding in a group. Here we go. Oh! Well, that didn't take long to hit their limiter. But it's always interesting riding in a group with people you don't know. One, I never ride in a group at all, you know, except with maybe just a couple people. But a group like this, I never ride in a group like this. So it's kind of interesting watching other people's habits and techniques and all that stuff. Not to say anybody's doing a bad job, I'm just saying it's interesting. I'm sure they think the same thing about me too, so we'll just leave it at that. I wonder if the shift knob is so far on the inside because, like, I'm sitting on the balls of my feet like a sports bike, whereas I feel like, you know, obviously I don't have to be so extreme on the balls of my feet, but your feet could sit a little bit more forward. I wonder if that's why the shifter is kind of out of the way a little bit. So then you would just have to kind of shift your foot over. I wonder if that's the idea behind it anyways. I don't assume that they're gonna let us lane filter as a group like this, that's for sure. She opens up pretty good. I would like to get up like on a highway or something where you could really open it up, but you know, it's not really what this bike's for anyway, so I'm not too bummed out. Like I was saying, hopefully there's a spot open for at least an 890 Duke, the R edition, which I think is like the more naked style, and we could test that one out. Here we go. I can feel the front wheel come up a little bit on that one. Might have overstepped my bounds. But the front wheel kind of came up a little bit. There we go. It's a fun bike, I gotta say. No hate on KTM as of yet. Obviously they're kind of known for having their issues, but I feel like that's a stereotype of everybody. It's like, oh, I don't like BMW, they got issues. I don't like Ducati, you're a rich boy with a Ducati, they got issues, blah blah blah. I'm sure a lot of people have owned all of these brands and never had an issue, so I got no complaints. Everybody gets to have their fun. Oh, look at the dog. I think if I was to get a bike like this, I would not, well, if I had knobbies on it, I could take it off-road, but if I'm doing like long-haul trips, maybe you could have like 2 sets of tires, like the like a sport touring tire, like the Michelin Road series, and then I don't know anything about the knobby tires, but I guess that could work if you have 2 separate sets of tires, but then, you know, you just have to change them all the time, so I don't know how great that would work. Man, look at those mountains, man. It's a crazy view. Oh, I know where we are right now. There we go. We got to go back to the racetrack. Awesome. Well, all in all, I gotta say, this bike feels really good. The weight distribution, like, I think it's just like that it sits up higher. There's a little bit more weight higher up. It makes a difference, man. Like, it does feel heavier. Like, it does take a little bit more work to get it over, of course, but it doesn't feel unstable. Even with the knobby tires, the power delivery feels very smooth, I do have to say. You know, only a 30-minute ride, it's hard to go over every single little detail. The only thing that I can really think of that I didn't like was the goddamn shift knob, which that just might be my own fault, I don't know, but who knows? It's a good bike. KTM makes good bikes, that is for sure. I got no complaints. So hopefully here we get to watch, or we get to go ride a 890 Duke R. We will see. So stick around and hopefully we can. And we made it. Let's see, there we go. It's official. Oh.